So we're gonna continue, and so on the last video, I said that there was a bug, but you guys probably didn't see the bug because I realized that the reason why this was showing red was I had to refresh my bundle on the terminal. That's all I did. I refreshed the Metro bundle and everything was fine. So I didn't change any code from the last one, so you don't have to change the code. Just refresh it. I basically I turned this off and I turned that off and I refreshed it, and it should work perfectly fine. As you can see here, user password. Obviously, it's not connecting. The password is not connecting to the email. That's because I haven't set it up yet. So that's what we're gonna do in this video. So let's go to the button. Our goal now from this section is to set it up. So I'm going to create another state variable called loading to see loading. This also will be empty. This would basically tell us whether or not let's call it false, the user is loading or not once you log in. So that's the goal for that. So for this button, let us create it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say let's see, what about if the button was pressed when you actually render the button? So this is the render phase. Let's see what I should do in this place. I can say what did I do over here? I'm trying to remember what I did on my actual app. Oh, okay, so I know what I did. Oh, I created a new method over here called render button. That's what I did. And this is where I did everything. So let's just call this is a card section, obviously. And then in this card section, I had this render button. And now I'm gonna do the button here, return, and then the button obviously. But now here is, before I even do the return, here I'm gonna use the if else state. I'm gonna say if this dot state dot loading. So if it's loading right now, it's false obviously, so it's not gonna go through. If it's, I don't need all of this. If it's loading, return the spinner. Do I have the spinner here? No, I do not. Let me bring in the spinner. So the spinner is the thing that goes round. So if it is loading, right now it is false. Return the spinner. If it is not loading, then you return the button by itself. Return the button. This is when it's not loading. And then we can say this is login. Since this is false, we can actually see it. No, that's not what this is false. Oh, okay, perfect. Let's put this to true so you guys can see the spinner. You see the spinner? That's the spinner. But that's not how I want the spinner actually. I actually want the spinner to be centered. So let's work a little bit on the spinner. Oh, I noticed we didn't finish with the spinner because our goal was to make the spinner centered, and obviously it's still not centered. So let's work on the spinner. First thing is, since it is let's give it a flex of 1. So it's gonna take the whole screen right away. We haven't seen, it's not showing. That's fine. This is a flex element, so we can justify content. Justify content, which would be center. And then we can align along the main axis. Align items is center as well. It's still not. Oh, that's because I haven't called it. It's still not working. So style equal styles dot spinner container. Okay. Yes, it's center. Beautiful. So you guys can see this is the spinner is working. So we're done with the spinner part. So let's go back here. So what I did was I made it true just so you can see how it works. But the loading should be false. So you should see the login button. Okay, perfect. So now that we have that, we need to connect the login button with the input. Well, so we're gonna use the method, the onPress property. onPress property. So when you press this button, do something. So I'm gonna create a method called onButtonPress. onButtonPress. That's what I'm gonna do. So this is gonna have all of the code inside, massive code. So when you press this button, you're gonna call this dot onButtonPress bind this. So you have to use this. If you don't do it, it doesn't work. In it. Now let's do the unbutton press. So the first thing first, let's change the set state from loading to true. Once you press it, it changes from loading to true. We can actually test this out actually. So loading becomes true. So as soon as this button is pressed, it changes from loading to true. So let's actually try that out. Okay, that should be spinning, but it's not spinning. Why is that? Let me see this dot set state loading true. We did press unpress. Did I pass it in? Yeah, it's fine. The whole thing looks fine to me. I don't really see anything. It should be. Oh, interesting. When I press the button, this dot unbutton press. Call on the method bind this. That's right. Let's see. It's false. Interesting. Loading true. Alright, that's not showing what I wanted to show. Let's move on though, because I think it might still work later on. This dot set state. Yeah. It might still work, so let's deal with that later. So we can say let's bring in the state variables. Let's deconstruct them. Email text and password text. I'm gonna need both of them. This dot state. Okay. Next, I'm gonna use Firebase dot auth. So my goal is to sign the user in now. I'm gonna use this method called sign in with email and password. So one thing I didn't tell you guys, and I apologize, I totally apologize for that. Let's go back to Firebase. So when we created our account, I didn't show you how to set up email and password. So I apologize for that. What you need to do is this. Once you've created your account, go to Authentication, then go to sign in method. Then enable email and password. You need to enable it. You can enable a whole bunch of different ones, but email and password one is usually the one that doesn't give me any bugs. So you see that? You can enable phone. You can do the Google one. It's very easy to do. So I did the email and password, as you can see. So that's what you should do. So after that, then go back to users and let's continue coding. Okay, so fix that right away. Alright, so we're gonna do sign in with email and password. So it needs the email. So the first part of the email that it's gonna get is the email text, and then the password. Beautiful. So we're gonna work with promises. So this returns a promise. So to do that, to access it, we use .then, and then If there is an error, if it didn't go through, we use .catch. Very simple. So we need to find a way to show. We need to find a way to show an error statement somewhere. We'll do that later, but let's do that then, and then we'll say this dot set state. Okay. You know, let's do this now. Let's create another state variable called error text. Error text, and it's blank right now. So if you do sign in properly and everything works very well, first thing that the error text should show is a success message saying success. Everything is good. So we're changing out the state variables. The loading should go back to false. Shouldn't load anymore. That's one. Then the email text should be blank now. We don't want the email to still be showing on the screen, and the password text should also be blank. So if all of that is good, this is when everything is good. So now, we're not done yet. We still need to do the error part here. If everything does not go as according to plan, so we can say this dot set state again, and then we can do the error text. This time would be authentication failed. We can say authentication failed. The loading should go. The loading should be. Let's see. We set it to true here, so it should be false. Still. And then if the login fail, we should definitely remove the password, but you can leave the email. Actually, no, take off both. Beautiful. All right, so we've set the states for dot then and dot catch. So now we need a way to show the error actually, because we don't have that over here. If you look through here, there's nowhere where we're specifying the error it's going to show. So to do that, I'm going to bring in the text. Do I have the text from here? I do. Okay, from React Native. I'm going to bring that in. All I need is the text. So go back all the way to here. I'm going to bring in the text. So, and in the text, what we're going to have is the error. This dot state dot error text. And obviously I want to style it. I want it to be red in the center and all those things. So we can say error container. So we can style it and say style equals styles dot error container. Alright, so let's first thing first, font size 20, color should be red, and then we want it to be in the center. So align self center. Okay, so this is beautiful. This is good. So we can test it. I think we should be able to test it. Let's see if we can. Let's see. Let me see something. So if you press the button, unbutton press binds this. Unbutton press goes through, logs you in, takes you through the whole error process, and bada boom. So let's see. Let's try it out. Doesn't hurt to try it out. Make sure there's no error first. Alright, there's nothing here, so So I'm going to use an email that does not work. So these are the emails that I have for my user. So add a user, just press add a user. I'm going to use one, obviously that the user is not here. So I'm going to say kunle@aol.com, password 1235. Okay, it's still not connecting, so something is not going through. So what is it that I did wrong? Or what is it I have not added yet? Oh, for logout, we still got to do the logout. That's not even important. Okay, we're still. Alright, so I'm going to take a few time just to look through this again by myself and see if there's something that I did that the login is not connecting with that. Because it should be connecting. It's not. I'm going to take a few minutes to look at it and I'll explain to you once I found it.